Alright, what is good, yo? It's Anime K here. Today, I know you see the title, we're going to talk about why people love the Land of Waves arc. Now, personally, I love this arc. It's the start of Naruto. It just sets the tone for the series, but we're just going to get straight into the video. So, it's the first time we get to see Team 7 in action. So, it's the first time because obviously you get to introduction to the characters, you get to see a little bit of stuff here and there, but you never actually get to see all the characters in a full fight or a actual battle situation. And obviously you see Kakashi as a team leader. He's obviously, they kind of build him up, or you kind of get the aura about him that he's a strong ninja, obviously, because you'd have to be strong to be their team captain. But now, like I said, why I love this arc, it just, especially like the first fight you see with the Demon Brothers, you see it sets you up and it's showing you, and Kishimoto does it in a good way, he's showing you of what is to come. And I think it's a perfect way, everyone that was just starting Naruto at the time, it was a perfect way to get you hooked and just interested, and you just wanted to see what else is going to happen and just wanting you to just come back and see more. All right then, so Kakashi versus the Demon Brothers. Now, why I love this fight is because it's the first fight we see Kakashi in, and the Demon Brothers, don't get me wrong, they were pretty strong. I'll give you some information on the Demon Brothers. So, the Demon Brothers, Mizuyu, and Gozu are two Chunin from the Hidden Mist village. They left the village with Zabuza and helped him commit many assassinations to make funds to kill the second Mizukage. So, you know they're strong because Zabuza wouldn't take no one from the Mist village that was weak with him, and definitely wouldn't take anyone that was weak to help him kill the second Mizukage, who at the time I think was, I can't remember who it was, but I just know basically they hated the whole Blood Mist village and everything that was going on with that. So that's why they wanted to kill the second Mizukage. So they were strong opponents, way too strong for Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura to handle. But the reason why I like this fight is because you see Sakura, and well, mainly Sasuke, but Sasuke jumps in straight away, and you know, and he's just ready to fight them. But then again, Naruto on the other hand, he's scared. You gotta understand, like Sasuke, the trauma that he went through, it kind of made him grow up quicker than Naruto and Sakura, and so he was already ready to fight, and he was so determined to stay alive to obviously eventually kill his older brother. Another reason why I like this fight as well, because you think Kakashi is dead, obviously, when they're going Silver Brothers, you think they rip him apart. I remember that moment so clear, because I was just so shocked. I was like, is he dead? Is he already died? I mean, we've got so much hype for this character, then for him to go and die, like, I just couldn't believe it. But then when they're about to attack Sasuke and Sakura, and obviously the person they were protecting, out of nowhere, Kakashi just comes out of nowhere and grabs them both and basically just chokes them out and ties them up. But why I loved it, it was so good because, yo, I was so hyped when Kakashi just came out of nowhere, and the composure on his face, and you just can see from the composure on his face and the calmness that he's been through so many battles before, that it was just nothing. It was just nothing to him. He was just level-headed, smart, and that's the kind of that's what I took from first seeing Kakashi anyway in the Land of Waves arc in that first fight. Now, obviously, after this fight, this is when Zabuza shows up. Now, Zabuza, if you know Zabuza, they give you some information on him straight away. Basically, being one of the ninja swordsmen, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen, a group of swordsmen from the Hidden Mist village who were known as, like, they were picked as the strongest swordsmen of the Mist village, and used to go and carry out many killings, you know, just whatever for the Mist village. But they were just a strong group that were known all around the shinobi world. So this Zabuza shows up, and Zabuza, you can see the aura he gives off. He's a strong opponent. Even Kakashi, you can see his face kind of changes, because he goes from calm and collected with the Demon Brothers to actually concerned, and he takes a battle stance. So you even see him lift up his headband to reveal the Sharingan that had been hyped up, the best word to use, that had been, hyped up throughout before we got to see it. And everyone really wanted to see that in action, and that was the coolest thing ever when he pulls up his headband. That, you cannot tell me watching that series that was not the coolest thing. the cool thing you just seeing the red eye, like thinking what abilities does it have, what can you do with it. Now the reason what, okay, so moving on to the Kakashi and Zabuza fight. I love this fight because, you know, you get the feeling that they're quite equal footed. I mean, not really. I would definitely say Kakashi was stronger than Zabuza at this point. The fact that he still managed to hold his ground, even though obviously Kakashi had to protect 3 Genin and obviously the person that assigned them to it, where Zabuza, he was just fighting alone. I feel like if it was a one-on-one matchup, Kakashi would have not finished him quickly, but would have definitely won the fight, no question asked. But some stuff that I love about this fight, the hidden mist technique that Zabuza uses, where you know, the mist. So I always love that technique. It's such a cool technique. You know, you can't see where it's going. You can't really sense where someone's coming from, obviously, unless like you're a strong sensory type ninja or you're just a strong ninja in general. I always loved that technique. I don't know why. It was just something about that technique. I always thought it was really cool with the whole ninja thing, and obviously ninja trying to hide his presence and try and make a sneak attack. Another technique Zabuza uses as well is the water prison as well, the bubble that he puts Kakashi, and I thought that was a really cool move because there was even Kakashi being stronger than Zabuza, there was nothing you could do about that move, and that move is such a strong move because it's like the person's in a water bubble and they can't breathe, and all the person has to do is stand there and just wait for you basically to suffocate. Kasami uses that same move against Might Guy and traps him in there as well, so it's, you know, it's a powerful move. But what's really cool about this fight as well is when Kakashi gets trapped in the water prison, you see Naruto and Sasuke, right? Naruto, after being, you know, embarrassed and stood up by Sasuke in the Demon Brothers fight, he wasn't about to let him do the same thing in this fight. And this fight, their teamwork is amazing. You get to see Sasuke uses his smartness, uses his brain to formulate a plan, and Naruto with his shadow clones, even from an early age, was so good at shadow clones. As you remember, so Sasuke gets like a big shuriken and he throws it at Zabuza, and Zabuza's thinking, you know, obviously, yo, what was that throw? Because what they used and what was smart about it, they used the fact that Zabuza underestimated them to trick him, and that's exactly what they did, because Zabuza, he underestimated them, and you can't blame him. They were like kids, you know. I remember when he was saying, yo, just because you wear a headband, you're not a ninja. So he, you know, he did not respect Naruto and Sasuke, and yeah, I guess Sakura was there as well at all. But when they use his teamwork, you know, Naruto turns into the shuriken turns into a shadow clone. That's Naruto. And then obviously it catches him off guard, and then they're able to get Kakashi out of the water prison, and then Kakashi is able to fight Zabuza back. Eventually, you know, Zabuza's close to losing, and then that's when Haku comes down, but we don't know it's Haku at the time. But Kakashi and Team 7 just thought it was a missed Jonin or a missed Ambu that was coming to get Zabuza, because obviously when a ninja leaves their village, they become a rogue ninja and get hunted down by the village, and the village will either kill them or bring them back to the village. So they just thought it was a missed ninja coming to get Zabuza back. And now what Haku does, she uses like even today I'm still getting them mixed up, you know, boy and girl, you know, he looks so much like a girl, but Zabuza uses a needle to basically stop Zabuza's heart, and even that like little things like that, when we found out what he did, was so cool, because he saves Zabuza's life. Because let's be real, Zabuza might have died in that fight, because it just shows how much stronger Kakashi is to him. The fact that as soon as he got out of that prison, Kakashi went right back to kicking his ass. Started copying all his techniques, everything. If it wasn't for Haku showing up there, Zabuza might have died right there and then. And I always thought that needle was a cool technique, the way he stopped his heart and he tricked Team 7 and saved his life. Now, moving on to my next point, Naruto and Sasuke's training. Now, if you remember, Kakashi, he trains Team 7 because he thinks, look, in that fight, you guys, you were good, but you were kind of holding me back, basically. So he's thinking, look, I'm going to teach you how to control your chakra better, because you're not that good at it. So he does a technique, he does the tree climbing. And, you know, as you remember, Sakura does it with ease because she's always been good at chakra control, even from a young age. That's all she really had going for her back then. And then you had Sasuke and Naruto. Sasuke was, he wasn't the best, but he wasn't, but Naruto just wasn't good at all, okay? So I love this training because you get to see the competitive spirit, I'll say that, the competitive spirit of both of them. They're both battling out, and it's kind of foreshadowing of what to come, because you see, even from the start, even from when Team 7 is first formed, you kind of see a bit of a rivalry with Naruto and Sasuke. Sasuke being the genius and being basically top of his class, and then you see Naruto, the bottom of his class, and was not good at ninjutsu at the start at all. So, and as you see through the series, Naruto's always chasing Sasuke and trying to catch up to him, and he's always, you know, getting on his level, and Sasuke's always rising above him, and then Naruto's always catching up, and so forth, and it's a good rivalry. And the tune, and why I love this because they stayed up all night, and for me it was such a good thing, like, because like you get to see the dedication, and like it kind of inspired me a bit, because you know, you get to see these two working so hard and battling out against each other. It's just, they stayed up all night, no food, nothing, and even when they came back, they was exhausted and just done, because they'd been training so hard. And it gets to show, and it showed you just how competitive they both were, and that's why I love this. That's why I love this arc, not just because of the fights and because of the jitsu, but just because of the spirit and the determination of Naruto and Sasuke to be strong. And the only thing I say I don't like about this arc is the fact that Kishimoto really made Sakura look weak from the very start, because she didn't really contribute nothing to any of the fights. Not the next fight I'm about to talk about, or not the two next fights I'm about to talk about. Not the Naruto, Sasuke and Haku fight, and not the Kakashi's or Zabuza fight. She contributed nothing to both of them fights. Yeah, don't get me wrong, she was stood there protecting the man, but really, let's be real. If someone was to attack, why it was just Sakura guarding him, let's be real, they would have either captured him or killed him. Whatever the goal was, Sakura wouldn't have been able to do nothing to stop that. So that's my only problem with this arc, is how weak Sakura looks. I'm just being real on that. She just looks weak. But moving on. Okay, moving on. Naruto and Sasuke versus Haku. Now this fight, I love this fight for many reasons. So why I love this fight, I'm gonna break it down. So the reason why I love this fight is because of Haku's technique. Now, I'm gonna explain this technique to you and why, just if you don't know how it works. So, Ionic mirroring ice crystals. Yep, right, reading that right. This technique is a Keki Genkai of the Yuki clan. Haku creates several large mirrors out of ice, which he surrounds a target with. By entering one of these mirrors, Haku's reflection will appear in all of them. So, why I love this technique is because, look, even though it's ice, Sasuke tries the fireball jutsu and it can't melt the ice or nothing. So you know it's not, you knew from the start it wasn't a normal ice mirror. The way he is just firing them needles at Naruto and Sasuke is just crazy. Now, what I like about this as well, this jutsu, is Haku was holding back. Like, if you really watch the episode, he didn't really want to kill Naruto and Sasuke. He was just trying to stop them so Zabuza could accomplish what he was trying to do. But he wasn't really trying to kill them, because he kind of, obviously they were young, so he kind of felt pity on them. He felt a bit of pity on them. He didn't really want to kill them. I personally think if he was going all out, Naruto and Sasuke would have both died that day. But continuing on with the fight. Now, so getting back to the fight. Fight goes on, and it's a great fight. You know, Naruto and Sasuke try many things. Naruto uses his shadow clones. Sasuke tries to use more his fire jutsu again and tries to come form an upper plan, and it's like nothing works. And why I like this, because even though they're the two main characters, like, I was trying to think in my mind, what are these two going to do to get out of this? Because it generally looked like they was going to die right there, because they couldn't escape it, because Haku would just quickly move to the other mirrors and they couldn't run away, and it looked like the two main characters were just going to die right there. Another moment I like about this is when Sasuke gets hit by the needles and you think he's dead. It creates such an emotion with you. You feel sad because you think, oh my, like, such an important character, such a interesting character is died so easily, because back then when I was watching it, I literally thought Sasuke did die right there. And Kishimoto shows the emotions so well with, you know, Naruto getting angry for Sasuke, you see life start to go out of his eyes, you know, even Haku's just standing there. And it's just such an emotional scene, because even I, like, you know, you get angry with Naruto, you get angry with him, you get, you know, you feel his emotion through the screen, and you just see how angry he is. The fact that this guy who was seeing, he thought he finally found a friend and finally found a rival, had potentially just died right there. And now I love it as well is because you get to see the Nine Tails chakra for the first time. Now you get to see this weird red chakra starts to come out of Naruto, and obviously hearing from before, from the start of the series, you assume, you know, knowing it's the Nine Tails chakra, he starts to go red, his eyes go red, and he gets angry. And this moment is such a high moment. I was thinking, what is about to happen? So when he just rushes and he just bursts through the glass and he just gives Haku the biggest punch ever and sends him flying, I was like, yes! I was cheering because, look, one, Naruto didn't die, and two, that was just the first time we got to see the Nine Tails chakra. And what is Kishimoto doing again? Yet again, he's setting you up for what is to come in the series, because this thing that was inside Naruto was so strong. We got to see the journey of Naruto trying to control this power, or we asked questions, will Naruto be able to control the power, or will it overcome him? And it was just overall just a hype moment for me. Now we're still the fact that Sasuke might be dead, so that was still lingering on in our minds, but the fact that Naruto was able to tap into this power and use it so well was just such a good moment for me personally. And I'm sure it was a good moment for you guys watching this as well. Now moving on to my last part of why people love the Land of Waves arc, because it's already been a long video now anyway. It's been 21 minutes. Look, Haku's death and Zabuza's revenge. Now, Haku, after the whole thing happened with Naruto sending him flying, right? We go back, the camera pans back to the Kakashi and Zabuza fight. Now, Kakashi, like I said again, I know Kakashi's a stronger person, and if he had the chance to get a one-on-one fight, he would win. That's exactly what he does. Kakashi basically summons his ninja hounds, and they bite onto Zabuza, temporarily kind of paralyzing him, or he can't move basically, and that's Kakashi's charged up the Chidori to basically kill him. Yeah, he runs up, he's about to kill him, and Haku jumps in the way. Now, why this is such an emotional moment, because it shows you the relationship and how much Haku cared for Zabuza, and how much they were, even though maybe Zabuza didn't seem as close, didn't seem the relationship like that, Haku loved Zabuza and lived for Zabuza, as shown in the flashback where Zabuza finds him. He's just on his own, alone, a kid, no food, nothing. And after that, Zabuza trains him up, and he trains him up into this kind of killing machine. But why I love this is because Haku, if you remember from the flashbacks, he never really had a life before Zabuza. And like he says, he only lived for Zabuza. So in his mind, he couldn't live without Zabuza, so why would he not save him? And I just love that, because it's so sad, because really, even though Haku was the enemy at the time, you just didn't really want him to die. And it's the first case of showing you that there's no villains in Naruto, you know, apart from Danzo. There's no villains in Naruto. It's just two people fighting for different things. And another reason why I love this moment is after it, when Haku dies, you see Zabuza just stood there, and Naruto, you get to see, Naruto gets angry and he's saying, don't you care about him, don't you care about him? In this scene, look, I even nearly cried at the scene, I will admit that, because this scene was so emotional. Seeing Kid Naruto get so upset and get so passionate about it, and then when the camera pans on Zabuza, you see him crying, and you see him upset, and he can't hold back his, because he was trying to hold back his tears before, and he can't hold back his tears anymore, because, in the ninja world, they say ninjas who show emotion are not proper ninjas, or are not, they say ninjas shouldn't show their emotions, but Zabuza can't help but break down and cry because Naruto's words hit him, even saying that his words cut deeper than any blade, and
your words cut deep, deeper than any blade.
That quote right there just summons the moment perfectly. His words cut deeper than any blade because Zabuza was trying to hold back his emotions, and really it's so beautiful that you get to see that he really did care about Haku, and he actually did love Haku. After that, what does he do? He kills all the men on the bridge, kills all of them, gets rid of the guy who was trying to take over the bridge, and it's just such a good moment. And then he eventually lays next to Haku and dies, and it's such a sad moment because it's like I said again, even though they were on the other side, you felt sad for both of them, learning their backstory and learning what they'd been through to get where they was. Zabuza being from the Blood Mist village, where he had to kill all of his students just to pass and make it through, which is really messed up in the first place. And then Zabuza having no one, and then Haku having no one and being alone, and Zabuza finding him and training him, and them two traveling together. And on to my last point. So after this fight, Team 7, the bridge gets built. Team 7 stay there for a couple more days. They make graves for Zabuza and Haku. They put the executioner blade next to Zabuza's grave. They pray there. And that just shows you, look, even though they had to kill them, they still felt empathy for them and empathy for their situation. It just shows you that what people say, you can learn more from fighting someone than any conversation, and that was true to this because Kakashi and especially Kakashi and Naruto understood Zabuza and Haku so well, and understood and felt sorry for them, and even made graves for their enemy, because it wasn't really the enemy, it was just the circumstances of the ninja world at the time. And then Naruto gets a bridge named after him, and Team 7 goes home. Now, to wrap up this video, why I love this arc, why I say, if I had to give one main reason why I love this arc, because like I've been saying throughout the whole video, it sets you up for what's to come. The fighting, the pain, just the intensity, the cool ninjutsu, everything, it just sets you up for what's to come. And this first arc is just perfect in hooking you. If you watched the Land of Waves arc and didn't get hooked onto Naruto and didn't want to watch more, then I don't know, because this arc was the perfect first arc. I feel like in Boruto, it doesn't do the same thing. In Naruto, when I was excited for what was to come next. It was just perfect, and that's how I'm going to end the video here. Now look, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, tell me if you like this video. If you like this video, I will do the next arc, which I can't remember off the top of my head what the next arc was actually, but if you like this little breakdown of the arcs, I will do the next arc and we'll make it into a little series if this video does well. But like, comment, subscribe, share the video. This has been Anime K, and peace. I am out. And look, if anyone watches both series, and thinks Boruto's better, then you need to rewatch it. Peace. Now, one more thing I forgot to mention about this arc, which I love so much, is Naruto character development. And on the first mission at Haku and Zabuza's grave, decides right there what his ninja way is, and it's just a perfect ending to one of the most perfect first arcs ever.